I want to tell you about a friend of mine from Abbott Lodge. Last Friday I took her to Aldi in order that she could get some food. She's usually very good with money and manages to provide for her basic needs month on month. However, due to certain circumstances, this month she was short of money and she asked me to help her with some food, and so off we went to Aldi and got her some shopping. On the way back from the shops, she asked me if I'd stop at the post box because she had some letters she needed to post, so off she went and I sat and waited in the car. She was gone for a bit longer than I thought she would be, and you can imagine my surprise when she eventually returned back at the car with no shoes and socks on, but instead she was wearing the biggest grin on her face. She explained to me that she'd seen a homeless girl outside the post office who was crying. This young girl had no shoes on and her feet were battered and bruised. So my friend therefore decided to take off her own shoes and socks and give them to the girl who had none. I've got another pair at Abbott Lodge, she explained. So I gave them to her because she had nothing. Now I was a bit blown away by that, because my friend doesn't have very much, and yet she gave up her shoes and her socks to give to somebody who didn't have any. And I was reminded of the story of the widow's mite in the Bible, and we're going to read the version that is found in Luke chapter 21 and verses 1 to 4, and it's the Message translation. Just then he looked up and saw the rich people dropping pennies in the collection plate. And then he saw a poor widow put in 2 pennies. He said, "The plain truth is that this widow has given by far the largest offering today. All these others made offerings that they'll never miss. She gave extravagantly what she couldn't afford. She gave her all." Now, 2 things determine the value of a gift. The first is the spirit in which it is given. If we give grudgingly and because we think we have to, or maybe we give because we want people to see us give and we want them to look at us and say, "Oh, look at them, aren't they good? They're giving this and they're giving that." Well, that gift is of no value whatsoever. However, if we give because of the outflow of a loving heart, then that will count as a real gift, because that person cannot help giving. God says in 2 Corinthians 9 and verse 7, "Each man should give as he has decided in his heart. He should not give wishing he could keep it, or he should not give if he feels he has to give. God loves a man who gives because he wants to give." The second way that a value of a gift can be determined is by the sacrifice it involves. Something that might be a large sacrifice for somebody may not be hardly any sacrifice at all for another. In the story of the widow's mite, the rich man calculated what he could afford and then he gave. But the widow gave with reckless generosity. In this story, the widow gave till it hurt. Mother Teresa, in a speech made in Washington, D.C. in February 1994, said, "And so it is very important for us to realise that love to be true has to hurt. I must be willing to give whatever it takes, not to harm other people, but in fact to do good to them. This requires that I be willing to give until it hurts. Otherwise, there is no true love in me, and I bring injustice, not peace, to those around me." Now, there's a picture portrayed of a man who stands in church and sings loudly the words, "Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were a present far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all." But the whole time that he's singing, he's fiddling in his pocket, checking that the note he's going to put in his collection plate in a few minutes is the £5 note and not the £10 note. The challenge of the story of the widow's mite is, what does it look like in your life to sacrifice for the kingdom? How might you need to increase your sacrifice? You need to give in line with the heart of God, who gave everything so that we might have fullness of life. I invite you to listen to the beautiful song, "Take My Life and Let It Be, consecrated, Lord, to Thee." God bless you.